Give Molestache the upper stash.
And away we go!
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst aliens in Ben 10.
What is this? Am I supposed to be impressed?
For this list, we're looking at the transformations from the iconic cartoon franchise that were either completely useless, had the worst character designs, took up screen time with their terrible powers, or were just outright annoying. And with some of these aliens, they'll check off all the boxes. Which of Ben's worst aliens would you remove from your omnitrix? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Gutrot. Even when Ben accidentally selects a weak transformation, he typically makes do with what he has.
So what? I'm just going to stay this way?
Very probably.
This alien form, however, is one that not even he can make useful. Gutrot is an ichthyperambuloid, an amphibious piscine alien with a pair of legs. That quality, combined with his slippery body, makes him incredibly hard to get a hold of.
No! Now I have you for a snack!
But apart from being somewhat hard to catch, and of course being able to breathe underwater, there isn't much more he can do. So unless Ben ever needs to escape a sticky situation, he's probably better off fighting, or even running away from evil in his human form.
Are you kidding me?
Number 9. Juryrigg. This imp-like alien has proved himself useful every now and then, but his overall weaknesses make him much more of a liability than an asset. Whenever Ben transforms into Juryrigg, he's overcome with the near uncontrollable urge to rapidly take apart technology.
Out of there, get!
Ben, control yourself!
He's taking apart the brakes!
And while he can focus on repairing and building, not every machine he makes functions properly. He also requires a lot of raw material to construct anything worthwhile, so if there's none around, he can't really do much. On top of all that, his loud and high-pitched voice can really get on someone's nerves.
Fire on!
Number 8. Ball Weevil. If Ben 10 has taught us anything, it's to not judge a book by its cover.
Whoa! This is a new one. Well, what can it do? I gotta have something going for me other than the power of cuteness.
But although this little insectoid can be surprisingly devastating, we can't get past some of his biggest flaws. Ball Weevil's ability is to hawk green slime that he can mold into explosive balls. And while the spheres can detonate into large blasts, they can only do so if Ben makes one big enough to do so. And the amount of time it takes to do that is hardly worth the trouble.
Give me some room, everybody!
Way Big's gonna knock this. Oh.
What's worse is that Ball Weevil isn't even immune to his own attacks. Just imagine if Swamp Fire or Heat Blast could be hurt by fire. Number 7. Gutrot. Many of Ben's aliens have unique powers that suit many situations.
The name you gave yourself is Gutrot.
Right. Gutrot.
Gutrot, however, has such an oddly specific power that makes us question why he's even in the Omnitrix. This living laboratory can create and combine any chemical and expel it as a gas. Ben has used Gutrot to produce tear, laughing, and knockout gas. But are any of these really that useful?
Creature of the depths, prepare for a snoot full of sleeping gas!
He can release gas from his body's nozzles, but can't control its direction once released. So he'd only really be a threat to those that are just a few feet away from him. And given how he was introduced to the franchise, we can't help but think he was initially written to be a one-off fart joke.
There is one more thing.
My eyes! Oh, my eyes!
Number 6. Nanomech. The live-action Ben 10 movies were odd additions to the lore, to say the least. As such, their odd legacy spanned across the franchise with the inclusion of Alien Swarm's Nanomech.
What is that?
He's turned into some kind of nanomechanical organism.
Nanomech. I like it.
This tiny alien became a mainstay in the animated series for years, but we can't say that fans were really asking for that. Despite the creative choice to give his robotic body some insect-like features, the execution was ultimately rather generic. Unfortunately, Nanomech's look is really all he has going for him, as his shrinking and bioelectric powers are equally dull.
What should I break? Everything!
Meanwhile, his full size can be quite the disadvantage when much bigger foes come rolling around. Number 5. Arctiguana. This alien first appeared as a form that Ben would add to his watch sometime in the future.
What do you call this guy?
I don't name. I don't know. Absolute zero.
Boring. How about Arctiguana?
Cool.
But as Ben 10's story evolved, so did its aliens. Many of Ben's transformations usually only had one innate ability, but as time went on, most of his new ones would have multiple powers.
Arctiguana? Cool. Literally.
Which is why, in hindsight, Arctiguana is a boring alien for Ben to turn into. The quadruped lizard has freeze breath, and that's about it.
Done and done.
This power seems especially lackluster when compared to Big Chill and Eye Guy, who both have the same ability and then some. Number 4. Edel. Whereas many of Ben's aliens may lack in character design, they make up for that in raw power, or vice versa. But in the case of Edel, he doesn't excel in either category.
Gotcha.
You sure? Oh.
I'm pretty sure.
This robotic alien has the ability to convert anything he eats into energy that can be released from his horn. Unfortunately, the power of shooting a single laser beam is incredibly mundane for an alien introduced so late in the series.
You couldn't eat the ground to charge up?
It's good, but this stuff is delicious.
And given how similar his power is to Upchuck's, you'd think more effort would have been focused on making him stand out. Instead, Edel comes off as more of a ripoff than an exciting new alien to see in action. Number 3. Fast Track. Speaking of copycats, this feline speedster is the greatest offender of them all. If Fast Track's power didn't already sound way too similar to Accelerate's, he even has a black and blue color scheme. Now, we're not saying that Ben's aliens can't share some of the same qualities. After all, Big Chill seems like an upgrade of Ghost Freak, and Echo Echo seems like a sonically powered Ditto. But strangely enough, Fast Track doesn't improve upon his predecessor in any way. This makes us wonder why Ultimate Alien essentially replaced a fan favorite with a cheap knockoff.
I thought that would go differently.
Number 2. Molestache. Bizarre abilities aren't new to the aliens of Ben 10, but this one definitely took it a little too far.
Sir, you leave me no choice but to pummel you.
Molestache can stretch and shape his facial hair in any way he chooses. The mustache has been able to form a super strong pair of arms and even propellers that allow him to fly. Even for Ben 10 though, this is all a bit too ridiculous. He might be fun to watch at first, but the novelty of this redundant power wears off quickly. Thankfully, Molestache only appears a very few times throughout Omniverse. So for the most part, you can enjoy the show without being subjected to this mostly insufferable alien. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Topic. Many of Ben's aliens have their fair share of flaws in powers and visual design, but none compare to Topic's so-called power/ability. It's an alien with a face so horrifying that no one can look at it without being afraid, and possibly even go mad. On paper, a creature so ugly and scary that the viewer isn't even allowed to see him is a fun concept. But this idea doesn't really make sense when brought to life. Aren't feelings of grossness and fear totally subjective?
Your fear is delicious.
Additionally, Topic's character design isn't very evocative either. For a creature that's supposed to be dreadfully ugly, his body resembling an ogre isn't as grotesque as it should be.
Stay away from me! You stay away from me! No!
The ambiguity of Topic's background was supposed to make him intriguing, but it only made him more egregious and underwhelming. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.